I want you to use the Duelist extension. So go over here to your puzzle piece, and then you're going to click Duelist. And then I like the 3 to 7 or 7 to 3, and I want this quiz to be the 3, the smaller portion of the ratio. And I would like it to go on the left side. So I click on the left side, and it will place the tab that I was in on the left side since I clicked on the left side. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Desmos graphing calculator to help me determine if the following equation is proportional. So I'll type in, oh, and normally it starts out like this with the keyboard at the bottom. And to show the keyboard, you have to click it to open it up. So the keyboard's at the bottom left, and you have to open it up on Desmos. Then I type in y equals -4, and then to make a fraction, just use the division symbol. Now you'll notice if I press X, this is not correct. X right now is in the denominator, and that's not what I'm trying to graph. That's not what this says over here. X is not in the denominator, so I need a backspace. So I'll backspace, and then I need to use my arrow to move over, the cursor over, and then I can put X on the side. There we go. Now you can see that this graph is proportional. It is a straight line that goes through 0, 0. So this is a proportional equation. Number 2, is the following equation proportional? Now don't let the m and the t throw you off. It's just as if you had y and x. So we type in m equals 6t, and you'll see this is proportional. It's a straight line, and it goes through the origin, 0, 0. So yes, that is proportional. For it to be proportional, it has to be a straight line and go through 0, 0. All right, what about this weird one with the decimals? Let's see what happens when we graph this one. All right, y equals 7.953x. And this one is still proportional. If it's in the form y equals kx, it doesn't matter if k is a fraction or a decimal or a negative number, it's going to be proportional if it's in the form y equals kx. So yes, this is a proportional equation. Next example, y equals x over 11. Well, I'm going to say I think it's going to be proportional because x is not in the denominator, x is in the numerator, and that should be fine. And take a look. Yes, this is proportional. It's a straight line. It goes through 0, 0. So x over 11 is fine. That's proportional. And I wanted to show you that y equals 1/11 x is the same thing as y equals x over 11. The reason is if you think about taking x and putting it over 1, and then multiplying x over 1 by 1/11, well, x times 1 would be x, and 1 times 11 would be 11, so you would get x over 11. So this can be transformed into this. Let me show you. I'm going to add an expression, a function, f of x expression, y equals, and I'm going to type in 1/11, move my cursor over, and then x. And you'll see it looks like there's one equation. So if I click on the blue, I can see the blue. If I click on the green, I can see the green, sorry. You can't see both at the same time because it's the same equation. So they're over top of each other. They're exactly the same equation. This is just written 1/11 x, and this is written x over 11, but it's the same thing. So yes, that's proportional. All right, now we're moving on to some examples where we have a power other than 1. So y equals x, and to get a power above that x, you use this a to the power of b button, and then I just type a 7. So y equals x to the 7th, look at this. This is a curve. It's not a straight line. It does go through 0, 0, but it is not proportional because it's curved, so we say no. So if there's a power other than 1, it's not going to be proportional. So this one is also not going to be proportional, negative 0.7x squared. I'm going to just hit the squared button this time. And you'll see this is a quadratic that opens downwards, or you could say a parabola that opens downwards. And no, that is not proportional. All right, next example. All right, what if there's an x with a power of 1 and an x with a power of 2? Let's take a look. Well, we have to remember that if any part of it has that power of 2, it's going to be a problem. Look, this is a parabola facing upwards, or you could say a quadratic facing upwards, so this is not proportional. All right. Y equals 11 over x. Okay, x is in the denominator this time. So that's actually a problem if x is in the denominator. Take a look. If x is in the denominator, look, the function is an inverse variation function. So that's a no, it's not proportional. So here is another example where we have x in the denominator. And you'll notice when you have a negative out in front that the graph is now in quadrants 2 and 4 instead of 1 and 3. And it's not proportional. All right, so don't get tripped up if they use other variables besides y and x. Notice that the variable here is in the denominator. So if we graph this, n equals negative 2 divided by q, you're going to see the same thing as if it said y equals negative 2 over x. So don't let that trip you up. The answer is no, because that variable's in the denominator. Okay, when you see something like this, y equals 9x minus 25, it would have been proportional if it was just y equals 9x, because y equals 9x is in the form y equals kx. But watch, as soon as you, look at what happens, hold on. Look at that slope, and when I subtract 25, I want you to notice that has the same slope, but it moved downwards to negative 25. So it no longer goes through 0, 0. So this is not proportional because of that constant term that's being subtracted. Right, the reason why this next one is not proportional is because we have a constant term that is added. And let me show you. Let's say that I graphed as well y equals negative x. Well, y equals negative x is proportional. It goes through 0, 0. But y equals negative x plus 8, look, it gets pushed upwards, and this green line represents the negative x plus 8. So get rid of the plus 8, you're fine. You add the 8, it shifts upwards, and it no longer goes through 0, 0. This goes through 0, 8. So this would be a no. It's not proportional. All right, I hope that you are starting to get the hang of this, that you notice that because of, oops, I didn't mean to put that in the denominator, because of the minus 1, watch what happens. It does go through 0, 0 until you subtract the constant term. And subtracting the constant term shifts that function downwards. And so now it doesn't go through 0, 0, it goes through 0, negative 1. And so that's a no. This equation is not proportional. It's not a proportional relationship. Okay, and if you added a constant, so y equals 7.1x would have been fine, but as soon as you add a constant, it doesn't go through 0, 0. So this would be a no, it's not proportional. All right, a couple more left. Ooh, square root of x. So this one is something you haven't seen. So y equals the square root symbol. You can't see. Let me see if I can move this up. I can't quite do that. Maybe if I make this a little smaller. Nope, that's not going to help. So the square root button is down here at the bottom below this less than or equal to symbol. You just can't see it on your screen because it's a little out of the viewing range of the video. But when you pull it up, Desmos, you'll be able to find it. It's below this less than or equal to symbol. All right, and take a look at what a square root function looks like. That is a curve, so it is not proportional. So we'd say no. And don't get tripped up if you see this in a different form. If it said, if you had different variables, v equals the square root of a, would graph the same thing, and it would not be proportional. And then finally, this last one, I think this one's pretty fun. The clue to you that this is not proportional would be those powers of 2, those exponents of 2. Whenever you have x squared plus y squared equals some number, that's going to produce a circle graph. I thought that was pretty neat. But a circle is not proportional. Proportional relationship is a straight line that goes through 0, 0. So this also is a no. So I'm hoping that this video will help you as you complete your quizzes.